Hi, sociologists. I hope this finds you well. I am enjoying spring break. I hope you guys are enjoying spring break too. And I hope that you're getting in some good chill time and getting caught up on whatever you need to get caught up on if you have stuff to get caught up on. I wanted to share a couple things with you. So I'm going to be sending you the call for proposal for the Project Censored conference and the registration form for the conference. And I know you're like, what? But so last week you watched the documentary on Project Censored, which is the Media Literacy Project, and this will be the second conference that they've hosted. The last one they did was at Sonoma State, and the next one is going to be in October, and it's going to be at College of Marin. And so right now we're planning it, and it's going to be media literacy for social justice. So last week you spent the whole kind of week posting about how the media either serves the purpose of informing its citizenry or it doesn't. And sounds like there's pretty much a consensus that our media system doesn't really do much of a job in doing that. And so Project Censored is one of those projects that that kind of calls this out and also does the job of highlighting news that isn't being highlighted in corporate media. So I'm going to show you Project Censored's page just so that you can see what it looks like. When you first, let's see, come on, go there. Yeah, go there now. So when you first get on there, it'll have like a spinner. I don't know what you call this thingy up here, but the first thing that pops up is the Media Freedom Summit at College of Marin, and that's pretty neat. And so what we're going to do is we're going to host this big event. Lots of people are going to come from all over the country and talk about social justice in terms of how the media either supports it or doesn't. And so it's free. It's a free conference for students. It's not free for not students, but you're all students, so you'd all be free. And it's also at your school, so that's pretty cool. And the other part that is possible, if you're interested, is you guys can participate in the conference, participate. So if that at all sounds interesting to you, then you should do it. There's a call for proposals. And if you want to talk about that with me, I'm delighted to talk to you about it. I think a couple of our students for social justice and students in our global social issues class are going to be putting together a panel to kind of talk about the work that they're doing in the classes or the work that they're doing in the club and how that supports social justice. What some students also do is put together something called validated independent news stories. And so that's part of how Project Censored functions. So what we do is students will find an article that is based in independent media, so not corporate media, so not media that's got a corporate sponsorship, right? And then they'll highlight the story. And so these are just different stories that students have found in non-corporate media, and then what they did is they summarized them, and then they got posted on this website. And so that's something that I've been doing with students at College of Marin for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, however long I've been here, basically. And so that's a pretty neat project, but you can just see all the stories. So this is mass killing of civilians by United Nations backed National Police of Haiti. Okay, so probably you're not getting that on your Yahoo feed or wherever you're looking at news or whatever channel you turn on the television or any of it. So this is an important news story. And if you look down at the bottom, Katie, who is your classmate in this class, is the person who submitted this article. And so she got cred for it. So she did a bunch of research, wondering what's going on, Haiti, the situation, what is the United States connection, and, just knowing Katie and knowing the process that she undertook doing this, it took her down a giant rabbit hole because there was a lot of backstory. And so when we learn about things that are going on currently, there's always such a backstory to it that is usually censored. And so she was able to uncover a bunch of it beyond what she put in this document. So she's actually now become pretty smart in this area. So I'd consider her an expert on a lot of what is Haiti. So she's your classmate. You could reach out to her and ask her more questions. But I think it was a pretty interesting and empowering exercise for her. And this is something that if any of you are interested in doing, I'm happy to work with you on it because it's something that's near and dear to my heart. All right, so Project Censored, check it out. And then the other thing is this week we're moving into social class. And social class is one of those things that we don't really talk about in terms of, you know, what that really means, what it looks like. Social class is you know, something that is just so, oh God, what am I trying to say? It's so under mentioned, I guess, or thought about, and yet it has everything to do with so many things. So you're going to watch a film called People Like Us, Social Class in America, and you're going to laugh because it's probably 20 years old, but some of the stuff is probably going to ring true. They talk about high school in a really wealthy area, and I always laugh at this one part because there's this teacher that says, you know, the student parking lot has nicer cars than the faculty parking lot. And I just remember doing some talks at high schools in Marin. Maybe some of you went to them. And I was like, wow, those are some nice Mercedes and Beamers. You know, this must be the teacher parking lot. And then I watched a bunch of kids get into the cars and I was like, wow, really? So social class is one of those things, you know, and I'm driving up in my old funky car and feeling awfully, you know, just observing it, you know, sociologically interesting. So anyways, social class. So I hope you enjoy the movie. It's kind of long, so, you know, you might want to pace yourself, watch part and part. But think about all the things that they say are affected by social class and how it kind of is one of those things that actually really does make a difference in terms of life chances. And so hopefully as you read the chapter on stratification, though, you'll also see that, like, education is one of those ways in which people can kind of move their class if that's their goal. Having an education is one of the things that instantly helps you with earnings and just in general. Because class is more about, it is about how much, you know, where you sit financially, but it also prestige and power. So the concept of stratification and Max Weber, and he talks about there's 3 ways in which we stratify people, and part of it is what we're worth, right? What we own minus what we owe. So our wealth, our prestige. So what kind of, you know, job do we have? Is it a prestigious job? Is it a not prestigious job? You know, what kinds of things give us prestige and what kind of things don't. And then how much power do we have? How much power do we have over our own lives? How much power do we have in our work? All of that. And, you know, frankly, all of this is a social construction, right? We've decided that a CEO is much more important than a janitor, right? And so we assign different levels of prestige to either one. However, you know, not having janitors might change the face of the culture. So, but it's a social construction. So anyways, as you're thinking about class, hopefully, you know, some of it is stuff that you can reflect on your own life and just kind of have these conversations with yourself and maybe people in your life, and share that movie if you're interested. If anybody in your life is interested in sitting down and watching these movies that are on the modules with you, they're available to share. So, all right, I'll stop babbling. Have a good rest of your break, and I'll see you on the forums.